Hello my art friends, I am here to show you a dry brushing painting technique that's going to help make our Egyptian mask look fabulous. So if you're at this point, you should have your design glued to a piece of cardboard. You should have had your coil or clay rolled out onto your lines around the face, creating a nice low relief. That means a higher surface and a lower surface. You were then to paint your Egyptian face mask a solid black color with black tempera paint, making sure you got into the nooks and crannies. Once that's dry, you were to use your colored pencils to color the headdress around the face, leaving the face black, which brings us to the dry brushing technique. So before you start, you are going to need a paper towel, a nice stiff flat brush like this, and a cup of gold tempera paint such like this. Now it is called dry brushing because we are not going to use water to dip our brush in. We are just going to use the very dry brush and a very little bit of the gold paint. Now the purpose of dry brushing is so that we highlight the raised areas on our masks by the clay. So this is a really good technique if you have a textured surface. It's going to create contrast between the low areas and the high areas. The low areas will remain black, and then the high areas are going to be highlighted by the gold or metallic or lighter color paint. So you don't have to use gold, but you'd have to use a lighter paint. So let's get started, shall we? I have my cup. I am going to just dip the tip of the brush into the paint, not too much. I'm going to go over to my paper towel and I'm just going to kind of brush it back and forth to get most of the paint off my brush. At this point, I am going to very carefully go back and forth on top of my design in the same direction, and notice how the gold gets picked up on the surface of the raised area. Now I ran out of paint, so I'm going to dip it again. I'm going to brush extra off onto my paper towel, and then I'm going to go back over the surface of my mask, highlighting the raised areas. Now the thing I love about this dry brushing technique is it makes a very antique look, or a very old look, as if your mask was just unburied from an ancient tomb. So really cool effect to dry brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit more, brush off on my paper towel. I really don't need a ton of paint, so make sure you don't waste the paint. And I'm just dry brushing on top of the raised surface, and look how cool that is. That is one fancy mummy face. All right, so when I'm done, your mask can go on the drying rack. My brush can go in the hot tub for dirty brushes. My paper towel can be thrown away, and my plastic cup of paint, don't throw that out. Leave it on the table for someone else to use to create this wonderful dry brush technique. Have fun!